Oh, yeah. Welcome out once again. This is the Remix Morning Show. In case you didn't know, Black Power Media is in the building once again every Tuesday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we bring y'all that boom bap breakfast. Yes, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and we got a super dope show lined up for you today. We talk about black business. That's what we talking about. Little bit, news, politics, all that right here. But yo, I can't do it by myself. I got a super supreme team. And one of the members is no other than Dr. Jared Ball.
Get away.
Because I'm not playing, I'm laying. What?
Stop. It's crazy. I love it. What's up, man? What's up, everybody?
Hey, everything is good. Everything is good. We here. It is officially summertime. Whew, it was hot.
Well, it was yesterday, but for us, it's about to. It's dipping back down to chilly spring.
Yeah. I do got the weather report for you. I was like, damn. I ain't jealous. But at the same time, this pollen is kicking in now. I keep sniffing, sounding like a cokehead over here.
Yeah, it's going around a lot of that this way too, and yeah, I don't know what is the remedy. What is the remedy? What is Ear Doctor's remedy for?
All right, so the remedy for when it comes to allergies and stuff like that is you got to start early. You got to start in the spring and start drinking like tea with some honey that's homegrown, like that's in that region. So that way it helps when the pollen comes. But you can't just get like any honey because it got to be in that same region so it can know about the flowers and allergenics that's in the air. So that's one thing. Other than that, I mean, you just got to use one of those neti pots. Yeah, I'm not big on that neti pot. That whole porn
I've
stuff
never
in your
done
nose.
that. Yeah.
Neti
pot.
Or get some medicine, I don't.
The only time I ever did that was at the end of that when that last line was gone and there was nothing left. And you need to clean it out and get it all washed, get that last drip drop. That's the only time. And, hey, but I mean,
Wow, the amazing things I learn every day from Dr. Ball.
That's why I got to stay away, man.
My goodness.
Get away. Ooh. Yeah.
Yo, that's wild. Hey, speaking of, since we're talking about black businesses and stuff like that, have you ever had a black business besides Black Power Media?
Oh, no, I've never. That's why when I interviewed Sweetie with Ricky the other day, I was curious. I mean, I have no experience actually running a business and don't have any aspirations to it either.
Well, you had one for the last 3 years now. How's it been?
I'm a worker, man. At the end of the day, I'm a worker. I'm not an owner. I'm not a boss.
Oh man.
And I don't want to be a boss. Huh?
I said too many decisions.
Too many decisions, it's just a lot of variables. And some people just aren't prone to it. And I'm good with that. I think in fact, we were just saying it talking in class, reminding a student, I can't teach if you're not willing to learn. It's a reciprocal process, and there can't be a boss if there's not people willing to work.
Yeah.
and you have to be willing to accept principled leadership and guidance, and that's me. I'm so I'm trying to find the right principled leadership and guidance, and then I'll go to work. Just give me the orders and the instructions.
Yeah,
So
I would say for me, I've been doing businesses all my life pretty much. I mean, I seen it from my father having businesses and stuff like that, and then for me, it was just like, all right, people are idiots, and I don't want to work for this person because they don't make no sense. Let me do my own thing. So that's how it's always been for me. And my first business was throwing parties. No, actually, my first business was a T-shirt shop, selling T-shirts and mix CDs and stuff like that. Then it evolved to throwing parties, and then it went to the pizza place. And for the pizza place, I had a bunch of rappers in the ring battling each other, paying them money, and that. And then my own business of DJing. So, and then for me, it was more of a survival. At the same time, I got to go ahead and get this money. And that is the one thing about having your own business. You don't get a paycheck on a regular. So when it comes to benefits and all the stuff, perks that the working class get, you don't get none of that unless you go and pay for it out of your pocket. So I guess that also made me be like, let me keep my health right, so I don't gotta go to the doctors and this, that, and the third. But it's not been easy. Like, a lot of people want me to reopen a pizza place, and I tell them, listen, when it comes to having a restaurant, once you have one cook and you have like a regular taste, then you got another cook. You got to teach them. Then the cook doesn't make it that day. What do you got to do? Oh, I got to step in and make pizzas. So it's not easy at all. It's not easy at all to have your own business. It is a little freedom, but you work harder than you will work at a regular 9 to 5. But you have the freedom to do what you want in a way. You know what I mean? But speaking of businesses, not only is it just a business of having like a brick and mortar, you also have a business of organizations. Speaking of organizations, let's bring in Kamal K. Franklin.
What the hell are you talking about?
Oh,
I feel like you're talking about some crazy
I saw
shit.
him. He was putting that together.
you see how I was stringing it together? No, we was talking about black businesses and the fact that you also have a black business.
What I got? Oh, what? What's the business I got?
Your organization. Do you have business meetings?
It wouldn't.
Do you have business meetings?
No, we have organizing meetings.
Stretch.
Organizing meetings.
Stretch.
Organizing meetings to organize.
Okay, you got Black Power Media. Do you have business meetings?
That one I will give you a little on that. We definitely have meetings around business.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But as in later we'll talk about in a week, the NAACP is an organization, but it's also a business. So you have Community Movement Builders, which is the organization, but it also is a business.
No.
Let's not get it confused now.
No, and
No,
I
you
was
are
always
confused.
disturbed.
You're
Who was the first at the NAACP? I wanted to say Ben Jealous, but I feel like it happened before that. Who when the title became CEO of the NAACP? Because I'm not. I don't. Like, I know in our discussions, I use that language to talk about what I thought we needed to bring in. But that's not really the concept. But there was always a struggle around the language because it wasn't. That sounds very corporate. When that wasn't the intent or the idea. But that label is I don't think it's
paid position.
Should be but it shouldn't be.
That's
I just don't
business.
think. Right. And when you're associated with civil rights or human rights, I don't think CEO, it just doesn't feel.
It makes
You
it
said
appropriate.
two key words: think and feel. Now let's talk logic.
Yikes. Oh, God.
I mean, is payments being dispersed? It's a business.
What's going on with you today? What do you everything?
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
I mean,
what are you trying to set? Is this like Black Business Week for like?
Yes, it
people?
is. Yeah, that's you didn't get the
so
email.
that's okay. You're trying to.
Well,
tie
you know,
it into- okay.
and I'm going to bring this back later, but I watched the most recent episode of Brokish and was reminded that because of Barack Obama's mandate, this is Financial Literacy Month, which is so that it felt somewhat appropriate for Ear Doctor to.
Look at that. So you're gonna be breaking down some finances for us this month?
No.
Only
But I am gonna.
Only what we owe him.
No. I am going to point to Erica's work, Erica Brown, that is, in this case, her work, and as she talks a little bit about on this most recent episode around the fallacy that is financial literacy is a claim. And in fact, if we have time this morning, I was going to save it for my show at 11. But I think if we have time, I think it'd be kind of fun. I was going to, Erica asked Amber to take the financial literacy quiz that is used now globally as a method of trying to convince the world that that poverty exists because poor people are just bad with money. And Erica has identified this one scholar that is really, again, as I've been saying, like if there's a single source for the mythology, she's found it in the contemporary sense. And this financial literacy quiz is hilarious to me. I won't tell how well Amber did. I'll let folks go watch the episode to see how well Amber did. I will say I did worse. As I listened, I was just watching listening in the car. And as I took the quiz in the car, I did worse than Amber. I'll say that.
Let's me and Ear Doctor take the quiz.
Okay.
Yeah. I can pull that whenever we're ready.
Speaking of financial literacy, I'm still trying to understand this word capitalism, as Leah Bogg says. The Ear Doctor will throw shade on capitalism 1 minute, and then the next. Help me understand this. Was I a capitalist when I opened a pizza place and seen a bunch of people that was like, damn, I can't afford a lunch, so maybe I can afford a slice of pizza, and at the same time able to pay for college myself? Is that capitalism because I seen the need and I filled it?
Well, that's what capitalism would claim to do. But technically, as I understand it,
I fed the people.
At a cost. I mean, McDonald's feeds people.
Whether you fed them or not, you're not a capitalist in the sense of like you're not an owner of the means of production. You're a small business. Right, is petty bourgeois. You may be an aspiring capitalist, but you don't own what we would call the means of production. You don't control how wealth is divvied and so forth. In your own little corner, of course, you may feel like, oh, I brought in a little money, but that's not. There's markets in socialism. I think there's markets even in communism. So you're not a capitalist just by the mere fact that you own a business. Sometimes that is extrapolated by people because they're trying to make a general point about something. But as I've told you over and over again, you are not a capitalist. You may aspire. You may even try to think like one. You may be in awe of them, but you are not an owner of the means of production.
And I don't exploit my employees.
Oh my God. Even if you did, you'd be a petty bourgeois, wannabe capitalist. You'd be wrong if you did, but you still wouldn't qualify in terms of the technical definition of being a capitalist. You just ain't got the money for it. You were a broke ass DJ.
All right.
You were a broke ass pizza party person. You were a broke ass drug seller. So as
and party promoter.
And party promoter.
Keep it going.
Yeah, just keep it.
And now,
how many ways could you go broke?
Right. I mean, broke guys and still think you capitalists. I don't understand. But that talks about the infusion of the propaganda system and how strong it is that you're not alone, right? People either think they are capitalists or aspiring, they want to be such, or in terms of what Jared was, people think that they're middle class when they're either working class or poor, right? But people want to believe, because the propaganda system has told us, that we are these things which make us feel, or we can aspire to be these things, which makes us feel better about ourselves, in a way in which wealth distribution is spoken about. Because going back to the financial literacy stuff and even the quiz,
Mm-hmm.
that to not have or to not seem to have anything, you are looked down upon, because that's what we're all taught to do. We look down upon ourselves when we
Mm-hmm.
don't pay a bill and all the rest of it. It stresses all of us the fuck out, right? No matter what we think intellectually or the work we do. If I miss a bill, I feel like I failed somehow because I'm not supporting or doing my job in terms of my family. At that moment, it doesn't dawn, it doesn't, my first instinct isn't, oh, fuck capitalism. It's more like, damn, Kamal, get it together, or do something or whatever. So I think that's part of the propaganda that's awash on all of us, that we think about these things the way we do. And so therefore, as opposed to fighting them, we crave to either be them or do things to try to set ourselves apart from those who have less than us. So those who we would like to believe have less than us, but we're really a check or miss payment away, or a credit card like lack payment away from being in the same boat.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even like I was saying earlier, you work even harder when you got your own business. I
So,
just love the freedom of walking in there and putting Mob Deep on and working. And
I,
yeah,
I, I, but I don't agree with that. That automatic state. I don't agree with that.
what
People
part?
who work, that people who own automatically work harder than the people who are working for those who own. I don't agree with that at
You
all.
don't agree with it. I'm telling you that I've worked longer hours with my business than other people that come in from 9 to 5. I'm there from 6
but
to
you don't know what else they
7.
do in their life. You don't know what these 9 to 5 people do after 9 to 5. You don't know, like, some of them got kids, people got second jobs, people going to school, even people just chilling because they're so stressed out because their pizza owner good
Well, I'm
job.
talking about for the business. I'm not
No,
talking about outside.
well, their life is their business, right? And because the owner of the pizza spot yelled at them because they came in a few minutes late, or because when they tried to sell the pizza slash weed, they got busted by the cops. It cost everybody some money and shit like
Whatever.
that. So they got their own stresses that the boss man puts on them, the pizza owner boss man.
What this
So
got
I'm
to do
just
with the hours I got? Go ahead, Jared.
no, I'm just saying that your one example, I don't think speaks for the entire the whole, the whole idea or concept that just because someone owns the business, they're automatically working harder for the business than someone else. I don't think that is an automatic. I just don't think that's automatic.
Not all
Uh,
businesses. Like I would say for the sister that owns the coffee business, I'm sure that she
and
put in
and
more hours of getting stuff together than the people that
I
Well,
come
just
in.
again,
want
it
to.
shows how you're not a capitalist, because capitalists, most capitalists survive off of inheritance and or stock options these days, stocks and stuff like that. A lot of capitalists these days are not even, it's lazy, it's passive income, right?
Hmm.
People aren't the idea that people are working hard in order to make the money that they get is also a fallacy. It's also something that's put out there for all of us to be like, oof, we got to look up to these. We got to look up to it, Elon. No matter what Elon Musk says, he worked hard to get that money. Where his history is not that. His history is having somebody who gave him his parents who got their wealth was stolen from Africans, passed wealth on to him. He bought shit and claimed that he started stuff, but he bought things that were already being made. He gets to talk on TV. He gets to have um, um, books written about him. He gets to give his views anytime he wants. And then there are these folks who believe that because he looks busy or because he's the owner, that again, he is working. And then he'll tell these stories about how he slept in the office. And so that's all, marketing and propaganda and concocted to get
Hmm.
the rest of us to again think that the business owner or the owner of the means of production is putting their blood, sweat, and tears in it. And then the lazy worker who basically has to be forced to do their job is the problem. And that's why we need all these strict rules and hierarchy in order to get the lazy worker to do the work that needs to get done while the bosses are toiling away and
Late
making
night
billions.
dreaming about the next day.
so,
What can I do? Go ahead.
but let me just give one quick. So I remember when I was delivering pizza to just stay within your and now your business example. There was this guy that I used to just I kind of marveled at him, even as I was sort of happy not to be in his situation, where he worked full time delivering pizza, specifically to pay for his kid to go to school and do all this. He worked extremely hard, worked as hard as and wanted as many hours as possible. I, on the other hand, had a very different work ethic. And I remember we would literally be in the manager's office as the manager was watching the computer, as the computer was telling him at what point to send people home based on the sales per hour that were coming in. And when it started to dip, I would always be among the first to be like, you can send me immediately. Like I'm ready, like I'm ready. But this guy was actually sad or upset. Like he was needing those hours. And so my point is, he would be sent home to save money so that the owner, even the franchisee manager, could continue to make their money. They would send him home, preventing him from working as hard for the business as he was. So it wasn't an issue of him not being willing to work hard. He was literally being prevented from working any harder because it was ultimately cutting into their profit. So I'm just admitting a bias in defense of the working people who don't have the opportunity to be the owner and the franchisee manager, because there can only be one at the end of the day. Ultimately, most of us have to do work for other people. And then to have it be described as they don't work as hard and therefore don't deserve the benefits of that work as much as those who claim to have put in the risk and is I think unfair. So that's all I was responding to. That's it.
Okay. Well, I don't think anybody works as hard as Burn It Down Kim Brown.
What's up, y'all?
Wake and bake, baby.
Not this morning. You see me? I'm in the dark out this joint. Like this.
I know you look. It looks a little different set up. And you got the dog next there. You advertising for the dog? The what is that, dog food?
Oh shit!
Yeah,
but I thought she was. I was looking. To me, it looked more like not wake and bake. It looked like it was like bake at the end of a night that is just now ending.
Yeah,
Kim looks like she got the dress on from last night. She looked like she's just coming home.
Walk of shame. She took the walk of shame.
I wasn't going to say walk of shame. I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it. I was going to keep it, But it looked, because it's not the robe. It's not the.
I know it's not the robe, actually. Yeah.
I was precluded. I was precluded from wearing my robe. I'm not going to name no names. I'm not going to name no names. I'm not going to say the patriarchy was out here telling me what to wear and shit. But I'm just saying, it was asked of me. It was requested that I do not wear my robe on the show.
It's either the walk of shame or she got a job interview. Something's going on over here.
Hey, I'm funky fresh, dressed to impress, ready to party.
Let's go.
That hot brunch date. That's what I'm talking about, Kim. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get brunch. Dinner's too late for me. So I need some brunch dates.
Bring my ass home.
Oh my goodness.
How y'all feel this
Sunday?
Morning?
That's what's up.
We are good. We're talking about.
How you been here before 8:30? I'm sorry.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I actually got here relative. Something bad is going to happen soon. I'm going to get diagnosed with something.
Why would you say
it's been too good? It's the last 3 or 4 days have been too good. It's been too good. Even when I took my kids to school, no lights. It's breezy. It's breezy easy. I'm here like 8 setting up. Ashanti sent my books. They came on time. The other book I purchased came on time. We just did our political education retreat at CMB, and we doubled the amount of people that we wanted to come, which was fantastic.
Nice.
Everything went well. Things are going too well.
Too well. Come on.
Good business. Good business there, Kamal.
I'm not mad at that logic though. I'm kind of with Kamal on that. I always be looking around the corner for like, this been a good week.
I'm waiting for it. I'm like, where's the brick? Where's the cloud? What's going on? Something's going to drop. This is too good the last 3 or 4 days.
All right. right. So Kim, you good? We was talking about this is being Black Business Week. We was wondering if you ever had a business.
Just imagine what we've had to deal with, Kim, while you were
I
there.
mean, I used to hustle quarter pounds of weed every now and again. Does that
Damn.
count as a job, as a business?
You did?
Yes.
You
No,
also?
as a kid, come out.
Yeah.
Every black child, every American child, I should say, has the experience of selling drugs. That's usually people's first job.
What
It's
are
not no
sellers
damn
and there's
drugs.
consumers?
No, I was selling, and I knew I had to stop. I had to
They
stop.
talking about
'cause-
you, Jared.
Oh,
No, hey, I
did
dabbled
both.
too.
I did
I
both.
did both.
Oh, okay.
The best part of pizza delivery, you sell quarter pounds to smoke for free. That was my whole thing. I'm not making no money, but I was
Yes.
smoking for free. That was the whole
Yes.
real point. Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
So
Yeah.
Kim, go ahead now. What'd you do? What you?
I like I said, I sold weed for about 10 minutes. I sold weed for about 10 minutes, and I had to stop because a girl in my neighborhood, like, because I was still living with my mother at the time, obviously, and the girl rolled down the window in her car. Hey, Kimmy, you still got some tree? And I'm like,
Oh, God
Oh,
Damn.
whew,
God
my-
damn.
I'm like, y'all gonna get me a beating out here selling weed at my mama's house.
Damn.
Out. Let me stop before I get a whooping in front of everybody. Jody. Let me cut this out.
Oh my God.
Wow,
That's
well.
crazy.
So many different types of businesses.
So-
No, I got robbed.
Oh,
That I got,
you
I got robbed, and as they ran away, I just remember thinking,
this ain't it.
this ain't it. Like I don't have it. I don't have the heart for this. I was like, I'm not chasing, and I knew who they were. I knew who they were, and I'm like, no. It's not worth it. It's just not. I'm just find another career path. That's all. Or I'll sell to somebody else. No, really, what I was.
I'm gonna get them later. Nothing like that.
No, it was no. The only thought I had was they what I thought they did themselves. I was like, I know who you are, and all that's going to happen is you lost me as a connect. I'm not going to sell to you anymore. So I don't understand why you would. It's not like they got some massive. You know what I mean? I don't think it was worth anybody's. I think it just was a silly little snatch and smash and grab or whatever.
and as they ran away, they said, "Jared, we ain't scared of you."
Basically, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Took all his little manila envelopes and was out.
Yeah, we know who you are too. We don't give a fuck.
Right.
But that's funny because when I came back from the Navy, I did have a little bit of a different attitude. And I ran into one dude who I thought was one of them. And he was like a twin of the dude without being an actual twin. I actually had a little tour, a non-violent. It ended up being I actually ran into a number of people that had done me wrong. But I came back as, a little bigger, a little more, worldly, little less, fearful. And I remember a couple nights. There was in one night in particular, this dude I thought had snuck me when I got jumped in 10th grade.
Snuck.
We were sitting there because I got hit from behind, and I never was really clear on who. I never got clear.
Snuck.
Yeah, I got snuck, so I never got clear exactly who did it.
Who did the sneaking?
And we were in this spot. We were in this spot with it was two women, two of us, and the lights a little dimly lit. There was lines on the table, as a matter of fact. And I said, and I asked him, and we were sitting there, and I was sitting there the whole night, kind of just looking. And I said, so was that you?
From 10th grade? Was that you?
He said, nah. Nah, wasn't me. Yeah, nah, wasn't me. Ah. Now let's go see about these ladies.
Don't be out in Howard County and have an OB for Jared. Jared gonna be looking for your ass around the whole
Jared got
street.
so many beefs out in the streets, yo. Why is it
I
like
really
your
don't.
mark?
It's just no.
Jared calls the wife on the phone like he's right here in our town, baby. What you want me to do now? And as Jared's wife rolls her eyes over the phone, it's like, if you don't get your ass back home,
Back in the car or back home.
if you don't go pick up them peppers and get your ass back in the house.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Boy,
Yeah.
tell
Yeah, no.
Jared. I love it. I love it. This is the Remix Morning Show, in case y'all didn't know, and we might get
Hey,
some news today.
Speaking of beef with Jared, though, real quick, just quickly, Children of the Cornbread, which I think is a great name, by the way. Salute to that name. I would happily go on Sabby's channel. I've never been invited to my knowledge, and all I've ever heard is that she has some unkind things to say about me. Very publicly. But
Is it recent?
so it's not recently. This has
Okay.
been some time now. But I'm just saying to Children of the Cornbread again. Salute to the name. It just read as if will I ever go? I've never been asked, but. So
Well, it's out there
I'm
now.
not so sure. I'm just not so sure. I just wasn't so sure that I would be on the
I don't
guest
think you're gonna
list.
be invited and shit.
I don't really think it's going to be invited anytime soon, but sure.
Kim is like,
It's
You know.
odd. That's such a very random question to ask in the chat of all things, right? It's like, why don't they ask you gonna go on Jake Tapper? I mean, it might as well be
Right.
as
Right.
obscure as that, right? Like, how come you ain't on Chris Cuomo show? Like, Jared, what the fuck?
People, it sometimes does feel like people think you could just reach anybody and be wherever and talk to anybody. Well, why didn't you have Barack Obama on the show when you had a criticism? Like, why didn't you talk to him in person?
Oh shit.
Call Barry up. Like, like really, yeah, all right, like.
Because everybody hates Jared.
Please,
Nah,
that way.
man,
We love
it's
you
only.
here.
It's not the case,
It's
though.
really not. It's
No, I
only a
think they
handful of
hate me
people.
too. And I think in this fight they hate almost all of us on. Well, at least the two of us, the two Beige brothers. They hate. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man.
I ain't do shit to 'em.
Nobody has beef with me except
Me.
Isabel.
I don't know. This
But
Zenzabel. Me and Zenzabel.
you and Zenzabel got beef.
It's
what's up with your wanky microphone, man? Tighten it up.
So my whole
Why-
situation,
why
my
don't-
whole situation.
who's Salah? I don't hate Why are you saying I hate everybody? I don't hate anybody.
You literally have a hates award. I'm just saying.
Well, Your Honor, I submit Exhibit A.
Like, well, I ain't-
Touche.
you, Jared.
Touche.
like I ain't put my feet on this couch. Yeah, I put my feet on this.
Yeah, put my feet on this couch. We literally have a fuck your couch award.
That part.
Can I show y'all the books that Ashanti Austin sent me?
Sure.
Oh, word.
So
Let's go.
I got my new stack of books: The Vice Lords, Warriors of the Streets.
Nice.
All right.
Bam, bam,
Oh,
bam.
nice,
good.
nice.
He just sent that to me. A Criminal as a Hero. All right, all
Man,
right, all right.
I got
all
some
right,
wear
all
and tear
right.
on them
Old
books.
school
Oh,
books.
damn.
Old
Okay.
school books.
Mm.
I love the old books too because they are the best reads. This new shit I'm always crazy about. Gangsters and Revolutionaries.
Mm,
Mm.
Oh,
Jakarta
damn.
People's Militia and the Indonesian Revolution.
nice.
Getting smart over there.
I'm not done. I'm
Yeah.
not done.
Okay, all
I'll
right.
take it away. Detroit, I Do Mind Dying. Bam. Bam.
Wow.
Who wrote
Study
that?
in Urban Revolution.
Who wrote that?
This is written by Dan Georgakakis and Marvin Sirkin.
Okay.
The last two: organizing and rebuilding the African working class through Pan-Africanism and socialism. Bam, bam.
Right.
I might send this to Ricky Ryan. And then the last
another
one,
One more.
You are so well read.
Ashanti Austin is, and now I'm going to look more well read.
Yeah.
Take Your Neighborhood by Richard Neely, Chief Justice of the West Virginia Supreme Court. This is a book about, and I think this is a right-wing view of it, but how basically to do cop watches in your neighborhood.
Oh,
Okay.
look at that.
Yeah.
Written
So
by a white, no less. Okay.
written by a white, from the white perspective. So
From a
I think this is-
gentrifier's
yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, it's probably one of these sort of guardian angel perspectives, but what you can draw out of it are the actual ways in which to do patrols and so forth and so on. So
Interesting.
I wanted to share.
You should
that.
get Ashanti back on here, Kamal.
Oh yeah, anytime.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. Pick
ain't doing
a
that
reason.
in the morning.
She ain't doing
Pick a
shit.
reason and let's yeah.
Man,
Have him respond to that comment. Let's start with that.
Man, y'all remember folding and making getting the paper bags back in the day and making your cover for your books back in school?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God. And then tagging it and making oh man, good times. Yo,
Where
no,
did that come
definitely.
from?
Because I was just seeing the old books that he had and I was
Oh,
remembering now.
Ah.
We used to make that. Anyway.
yeah.
Now the kids
Let's do it right
just
here.
on their tablets.
Yes.
They don't draw anymore. Well, I don't know what the fuck they do. I don't know what
You
kids.
said, I don't know what the fuck.
I have no idea what children are doing.
I'm bringing back the Trapper Keepers. That's what
Hey,
I'm bringing back.
No, kids still use those. B.
What?
They use them in junior high. The
Say
kids
word.
are using those.
classics.
I had to
I
go
thought
buy
they went
'em.
out of. I thought whatchamacallit went out of business. The people that made that went out of.
Maybe
But
somebody else
okay,
took on the
good for them.
name, but I had to
Okay.
buy it at that was part of the whole list. You know when they give you
Damn.
that whole list,
Mhm.
you got to go to Walmart and buy it up.
The compass and the
So-
protractor that the children never use.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, when you buy and you're buying way more than your kid can ever use. So you know you're basically buying supplies for the rest of the school. It's like, why am I getting 40 rolls of toilet paper for whatever? It's like, why is that on the list? It's like crazy shit. You're like, I know my kid is not using all of this. You're buying
They
supplies.
send the kids to school with their own personal ration of toilet paper these days.
I'm exaggerating a little bit.
Oh,
A
okay, I
little
was about to
slight
say.
exaggeration. Slight
Okay, 'cause
exaggeration.
you
But
can't exaggerate because I don't have a clue. I'm absolutely clueless as to what's
Man.
going on in public schools.
Baby girl just had prom.
Little tear came. Little tear came.
No, actually, no. But I am internally a mess. It's been internally a mess.
What color did she
And
wear? Tell
did
us
she have a
about the
date?
dress.
Did the date
No,
pick her up?
I don't know exactly what the color. I want to say I'm probably wrong, but it was like a tannish color. She looked amazing, but I don't think I have it. No, she didn't have a date. Apparently, the rule. Apparently, if you're not in a for real relationship, they don't do dates anymore.
Yeah.
They
go with their
do.
friends.
They go with a collection of friends.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
So
with
she
that.
definitely does not have a boyfriend. So she was with a group of
That
friends.
you know of.
Well, I mean, hey, if she's worked around this level of security, I mean, on some level, it's like, I'm like, damn,
You good.
If you
good.
I mean, for real, like, because it's been like Alcatraz in this joint. If you somehow pulled that off, congratulations. But
Leavenworth at the Ball
Leavenworth.
household.
but she did miss. So there was a little issue with one friend group, and she missed the little party bus that they went on, and that bus got busted, and almost none of them got into prom because somebody was doing shots of tequila. And the driver, of course, was like,
He called?
Oh, wow.
The
Of
driver.
course.
Snitch.
You can't. It's not snitching. I even was very clear with them on this. First of all, snitching is only applicable to the labor movement, to
Look
the
at
Black
everybody's
liberation
face.
struggle, or to people who are co-conspirators in advance together. This was him being an adult with underage kids drinking in the back of his professionally hired vehicle.
And this,
You
and this-
damn well better call somebody.
and this different from your prom. How? How was this different from your prom?
What would you
Jared?
have called that driver back then?
Right, you'd have called this bitch motherfucker.
Now
You're
you wanna
totally
be a parent.
irrelevant.
Now you want to be a parent. Boy,
The
let me
kids
tell you.
know how to
Hearsay,
say that right.
speculation, flag on the play.
Kids didn't
I
do that right.
object.
They were supposed to have $50 to give to the driver. You're supposed to
Yeah,
take
take that,
us to
take
the
that.
liquor store. What are you doing? You can't
Yes.
be telling on us.
Yes.
Jesus. What is
Different
adults
times.
doing out here these days? Just out here
Listen,
telling on children.
It's different times. I DJ'd a prom Saturday, and the kids, right after you announced the prom king and queen, I played a slow song, Nobody Loves You. And I'm thinking they going to dance. They was out. It was out.
They left the floor?
Yeah, they left. No slow dancing. And then they was out to go to whatever other party they had or whatever. And they was too cute to dance for too long, only like an hour. Everybody had their phone taking pictures. And I
Pictures
was
of
like, this ain't
themselves.
no-
I mean, teenagers do get sweaty. I can understand the reluctance to, really bust a move because then you're going to be a sweaty mess.
Well,
But back in the
past
day,
proms.
then you feel
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
you-
saying.
yeah.
I've been used to turning up at prom.
That was us. Like we didn't care. Like we,
not even 10 years ago. I did a prom, and I seen the footage come up on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, damn, they was rocking."
They was partying, huh?
Yeah. What do I know?
Anyway, birthday party. Did you do the birthday party for your man?
No, the picnic. No, I was just out there chilling. They had another DJ playing house music. He's from Chicago, so he played house music all day.
Okay.
And yeah, it was cool. Real nice. All right. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and get to our first break since we're 40 minutes damn near in. On the remix morning. It does. The show. Yeah. What's good, everybody? Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and y'all are tuned into one of the best shows ever on the planet. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Please subscribe. We'd love for you to tell some other people that this show is on, and Black Power Media is where you come and get all the information. With that said, become a member on Patreon and help us grow. Also, you can drop some change right here in the chat room. We would definitely appreciate that too. With that said, you know what time it is, man. It's like summertime down here in the South. So let me get y'all to the weather report real quick. All right, here we go. All right, so boom. Let's start off with the ATL. ATL, we got a high today of 82 degrees. 82 degrees. This is definitely summer down here. Next, let's take it up to Brooklyn, New York. They got a high today of only 68 degrees. And even lower than that, if we would go to Chicago, they got a high of 58 degrees. And then if you was to go over and down to Houston, they got a high of 83 degrees. So we about Atlanta, about Houston, about the same. Next, let's take it to the West Coast, San Francisco, the Bay Area. Big up to all the people in the Bay Area. They got a high today of 65 degrees. Let's take it over to Nicaragua, Leon, Nicaragua, where they make nicotine. They got a high today. I'm just playing. They got a high today of 97 degrees. It's pretty hot over there. And last but not least, let's take it to the motherland. Let's go to Angola. We never talk about Angola. They got a high today of 90 degrees. It's pretty hot. I'll tell you what else is pretty hot. This whole battle thing. We're talking about Drake versus everybody. This dude is back. Everybody's coming for the throne right now, as you would say, the top rappers. You got Drake. You know, he just finally released his track going back at Kendrick Lamar. And then you see he took out The Weeknd. He took out Metro Boomin. He talked about Rick Ross. He talked about Kendrick, Future, all on one track and took them all out. Rick Ross comes back with a response. And then you had Kendrick Lamar the other day on stage bringing out J. Cole after the whole diss and apology. It's a whole lot going on in this whole battle. And it got me thinking once I looked at a billboard in Times Square that showed hip-hop is a competitive sport. And it brought me back to the business aspect of this whole thing, and how corporations have come into hip-hop and pretty much like, we're gonna run this whole thing now. So I seen this and I was like, damn, yeah, it is a competitive sport, but why are you telling us to drive up more sales when they start battling and going back and forth to put more money in the corporations' pockets? I believe that's what's going on. So I'm not feeling that, but that's what it is. And that's your little knowledge of what's going on in this whole battle. So I guess we're going to wait to see who's next to start putting out a verse. We'll see. We're waiting on Kendrick right now. With that said, let's get back to Remix Morning Crew. Now we do. Yeah.
Hey, I saw that Chuck D said that battling is a tumor that emerged in hip hop and is not part of the original peace, love, and having fun ethic.
Mm-hmm.
What's it, Ear Doctor?
Yeah.
I mean, it was before. It was because the thing was with Africa Bambaataa, the whole thing was bringing all these different gangs together in the love, peace, and happiness, and those were the cornerstones of hip hop. And then going from there, it was about, okay, who's the best MC? Who's going to be up there on that stage? Like I said before, it's not a lot of stages back then, not a lot of mics or clubs to rock at, so you had to be the best, and you would battle for that spot. So it came about that way, and I guess we could look at it as a whole corporate, like, I don't even want to look at it as corporate. It's more like, listen, I want to be on that microphone. I'm better than you. So I guess that takes away from the love, peace, and happiness and unity. But at the same time, they were united on, the whole movement of hip hop. So,
Hey, although I will say I agree with DeFi, Jay, Iran retaliation is more important than rap beef.
True indeed.
And I'm happy to get to that in a second. Erica did lace us with a story. But I just thought it was interesting. And I thought beef was always part of battling was always part of the deal, and not necessarily to be taken in the most negative and hostile way, just some friendly competition.
You see, Spotify was like, "Oh, rap, hip hop is competitive. Like, let's get this money. Let's get some more music done so we can get some more money." I was like, "Boy, these bastards." But yeah, that's what it is.
Wasn't
Drake
rap
write
better?
something? Sorry,
It was better. Like as a middle-aged hip hopper, as it were, like I remember the years in which rap, like we would get excited to see our rappers on TV or on the Grammys, or if a rapper had a commercial, like that would be like, oh my God, y'all, Nas and AZ got a Sprite commercial, like you know what I mean? But now it's like, God damn, how I wish the mainstream never embraced this culture. I wish the mainstream had really stayed out of it, because now all of our vernacular gets used by the housewives and shit, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, like I wish y'all niggas should have never gave y'all niggas rap. And by niggas I mean white niggas, by the way. I mean white America. We should never gave y'all anything hip hop culture.
The creativity part is lacking now, where you don't even hardly hear any story rhymes. It's all about, let me talk about sex, violence, let me talk about certain keywords that's going to get people to buy it. So yeah. All right.
I heard a story. Somebody played me a new. Who is it? What's the name of the group in Philly? Close Contra.
Oh, yeah.
The Contras.
Yeah. They got a story. Well, they old school. They stick to the old school values of hip hop. They're not like. That's why you don't really hear them. They're not mainstream.
Them and Flatbush Zombies. They tell some stories. They remind me of Wu-Tang a little bit.
Exactly. See what you're saying?
But aren't these popular groups amongst the children? The children don't like these groups?
No, these popular groups amongst your age, because they're actually doing old school hip hop. But what do I know? I'm taking my son to go see Benny the Butcher this Friday for his birthday.
Who is
that? He's an old school sounding rapper that's new school, and Bodie James. And they talk about drugs. All right, well, let me get up out of here.
James was a jazz person. What? Never mind. I'm gonna let you go. Go ahead, baby. We'll see you in a bit. Because you confusing me out here, doctor. But that's not new, so that's fine. I'm a KIM. Keep it moving.
We gonna slap a map?
So
yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
No, that was it. That's where I was. Oh yeah.
Slap a map.
What's up, y'all? Good morning. Today is Tuesday, April the 16th. Welcome to the Remix Morning Show, exclusively here on Black Power Media. Full house today, baby. Full clip. You see us up here. Reverend Dr. Ball, Attorney Franklin, regular ass Kim, the ear doctor in the background. The Remix is in the chat. Good morning. How y'all feel? How was everybody's weekend? Good?
Good. Yeah.
Excited for 420? Well, y'all parents, never mind. Y'all not excited for 420. That's fine.
Oh, I am. In fact, well, specifically because on Saturdays with Renee, we got Lawrence Grand Prix coming through to talk about reparations in the cannabis industry here in Maryland.
Ooh,
so we're going to have a nice 420 on 420. Yeah. So, but I am looking forward to it.
Start date for us on something or no? Did we do something on 420 for
the 17th?
The Remix Morning Show anniversary.
Right.
Yeah.
So are we having some sort of anniversary the observance? Like no? Did anybody? No? Okay.
No.
Well, your doctor should plan that.
Yeah, just do some clips that day. Like throw together clips from the earlier shows to where we
Yes,
are
clips.
now. I think do that.
Oh boy, clips.
Okay. Okay.
Listen, I'm looking forward to the conversation with Lawrence on Saturdays with Renee, because I have so many questions about the legal marijuana industry here in Maryland in particular. And I know Lawrence is very versed in policy and the budgets and shit. How in the fuck is Maryland at a budget shortfall when weed is legal? When the casinos is legal? Like, so please ask Lawrence, how come the money, the math is not mathing in Maryland for some reason?
That is a very good set of questions. I'm sure he will be ready to answer that, specifically because they keep trying to develop legislation that will attach reparative justice to the cannabis industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're talking my language. Like, they're not talking, as I understand it, ownership and business. They're saying money is being made. We want our cut.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had people who have been punished for this stuff, legally and otherwise, and money's getting made, and let's go. And I'm with that. So I like that. That just sounds beautiful to me. It just says money's getting made. Let's go.
That's right.
And I would love to think that I don't pay taxes on it, but I would love to think that any support of mine to the dispensary would support some sort of reparative justice at minimum for Black people in Maryland, if that can't be extrapolated. So we'll see. There's a whole bunch of, those questioning in the chat should just tune in Saturday. Y'all get started early. Like, Lawrence ain't even here yet. God damn. Yeah. But okay. So we'll see everybody Saturday for that.
Boom.
But are you celebrating 420?
So I have been made aware that on 420, that Saturday, the National Cannabis Festival is happening at RFK Stadium, which they do every year, right? That's not the news. The news is who's headlining the National Cannabis Festival concert on Saturday. Take a guess. And y'all in the chat, be quiet. I know y'all know. Shush. Let Kamal and Jared guess.
Oh man, that gets Kim this amped up. Is that Red Man?
Oh, ding.
Oh damn! Oh,
that was good. That was mad good.
Plus, but not just. Plus, come on, Jared. One more. Come on, Kamal.
So I'm assuming method.
Very close.
Cypress Hill.
It's the Wu-Tang and
the whole Wu-Tang. Okay. Damn.
And Redman on 420. What you clapping for, Nick?
Me. I'm assuming that was for me. I didn't push the button, but I'm assuming that was for me. I hear applause. I just start taking bows. You know what I'm saying?
So, I mean, this is a treat. Like, this is like the Gen X, like the late Gen X sweet spot for me. Like, Wu-Tang Redman in DC on 420. Is it my birthday? Like, what's going on? Like,
damn, do I have to come out the house? Is it sold out already?
I don't think so. Not sold out.
And you already got your tickets, Kim?
Working on the tickets. The tickets are on progress. So hopefully
I'm about to start hitting the Googles here in a second.
Show they. And they had a good line. I'm not familiar with Thundercat, but I know the kids like Thundercat, and I think he's a talented musician. Also, Devin the Dude is playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
With my doobie ass tray?
Yes.
Why they do me that way?
Jared,
you gonna get out the house, Jay?
I'm looking it up now. I think this is a definite candidate to get me out the house for sure. Black Alley is playing. Hold up. Wait a minute. Goddamn.
Renee, you might be Reneeing on Saturdays.
When they just push these buttons, you good, girl. You
good. Lord have mercy. That is the definite problem. Okay, I'm gonna have to start
arranging. Gotta arrange these hourly blocks, JB. You can do it, bro. You can do it.
And at RFK, RFK got a little sentimental value to me too. It's been a minute. you know.
And they will, ain't no trying, they will tear RFK down at some point.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you might as well go.
Yeah.
While it's still there. But can I shout out to the Morgan students, to Jared Ball students? Like y'all professor know who Devin the Dude is and gets excited about it. Like big up to y'all. Y'all look at y'all lucky children. Y'all got a cool ass prof out here. Look at that.
Thank you.
The kids do not know themselves.
They don't know. They don't.
But that's okay.
You know,
y'all should go listen to him. He's very explicit.
All right, moving into our next hour of news-free news.
So okay, here we go. So real quick. So at in around the second hour of the live, I'm going to start at 11. Daruba is coming through, and Daruba had, you know, he sends a lot, and he's got a lot on his mind, got a lot that he's wanting us to pay attention to, and he was asking what I was. Somehow we got to the question of what am I thinking, something about that. And whatever I said, he said, whatever you're doing, you have to connect it to what happened with Iran's response. And he mentioned Scott Ritter's name, the analyst that people may remember going back to the the re-invasion of Iraq, I guess I should say. And so I thought that was a good segue to the story that Erica had here. So that because I watched some Scott Ritter, who was arguing just quickly that basically he's saying Netanyahu is trying to lead Israel and whoever wants to follow them to suicide, and that messing with Iran like this is not the move, so you know, sort of buyer beware for people who want to buy that line of logic. But this story here from Al Jazeera says, is Israel army chief pledges Iran response as Western countries urge restraint. And that was sort of what Ritter was talking about, that if they don't restrain Netanyahu in particular, who's trying to almost preserve his own political legacy, that he will lead Israel and those who want to follow them into oblivion. The head of Israel's military has said the country would respond to Iran's weekend attack as several Western countries urged Israel to avoid an escalation of the conflict in the Middle East. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu summoned his war cabinet for the second time in less than 24 hours on Monday over Iran's missile and drone strike. Israel's military chief of staff, Herzi Halevi, said his country would respond, but did not provide details. This launch of so many missiles, cruise missiles, and drones into Israeli territory will be met with a response, said the Nevatim air base in southern Israel. Ritter's argument was that for all the number that was sent, very little damage was done, and this was done on purpose, that Iran had given warning and heads up. So this was not, it was just saying, look, stop playing, you know, but the response seems to be that this was as much as any sort of unprovoked attack and
unprovoked. Yeah. Didn't Israel literally just bomb the Iranian embassy in Syria? Unprovoked, right? Okay.
Well, it just is unprovoked based on where you set the
barometer, like where's the starting point, right? Where's the starting point?
Because even go ahead. No.
I was seeing Friday. I was on TikTok. Lord, TikTok is my new resource for all kinds of things now. But I seen these two white boys, separate TikTokers, say that Israel was pulling forces out of southern Gaza to amass their troops along the different border point because the Iranian attack looked imminent. And the white boys on TikTok was like, and the news is not reporting it. And they sure the fuck was not. They didn't report that shit till after it happened. And to me, 300 drones, I mean, that sounds impressive, but you know, Iran ain't stupid out here. They knew that them shits was going to get took out by the Iron Dome. So that was just the warning shot. Just like, hey, y'all keep this shit up if y'all want to, and we gonna send some real shit over here.
But I think I do think it was a tactical response by Iran to show, because partly over the years, Israel has been bombing not only Hezbollah, but Iranian troops in Syria in particular, because obviously Iran helped Syria win and Hezbollah win the civil war and has moved troops there. And Israel has steady, even before that, of course, but now even Israel has steady been bombing. I mean, Iran's response has been basically non-existent to a lot of folks, including hardliners in Iran. And so I think because of the generals who, and again, Iran has tried to avoid a direct war, not only with Israel, but with the United States. When the United States killed the Iranian general under Trump, like the response was calculated and guided to show strength, but not to do damage. I also think Iran is now, by retaliating, has now themselves set a line in the sand that they have to now respond back, which again, I think undercover, maybe even the militias, maybe hardcore generals were like, look, we got to step up because if we don't, then so and so will happen. But now they've also set a precedent. So the next time Israel does bomb, Iran's going to be expected to respond. I'm not quite sure that this means the annihilation of Israel, because I think whatever the West is saying, the West is dedicated to the survival of Israel. So I think whatever the West is saying, if something does happen, and not just the West, as we saw Jordan participated in the defense of Israel by downing Iranian drones. And that was all calculated, like Jordan, Great Britain, United States, Israel, and maybe several other nations calculated together defending Israel, which is currently committing a genocide against Gazians. No one is stopping those missiles. No one is stopping those bombs. But some of these Arab nations with the West, because of their feeling on Iran, worked together to make sure, like you said, what was basically a tactical move, but was signaled way beforehand, that coordination could happen and that most of those drones and missiles would be stopped. But I think if this continues to happen and there's more of a hot war, I don't think Israel necessarily gets wiped off the map, because I think that the United States would ultimately step in, send more weapons. I think other Arab nations would support. But I don't know for sure, right? This is not. Iran has there's other organizations, the Axis of Resistance, other militias, which are also going to respond if Iran is attacked directly. And what does this mean? Does this mean Israel will launch missiles at Iran's homeland? And Iran doesn't have the sophisticated dome system to stop these things from coming in. And so if they land and they do damage in Iran, we are talking about properly a war. I don't see how that gets avoided. If that's their response, which is instead of hitting someplace in Syria or someplace else, but if they hit Iran directly, and Iranians are dying in the streets because they hit an apartment complex or a military compound, then Iran has no choice but to respond, and I think that means a hot war.
It's a little crazy when I hear the analysis from the pundits talking about, and Iran shouldn't have a nuclear program, and it's like, but Israel is the most likely to fire a nuclear weapon
because they have them already. Exactly.
Exactly. We looking at the wrong folks here. It's Israel that is most likely to launch a nuclear attack before Iran ever would.
And is it Ritter again? I'm only knowing this from what I saw this morning from some of what Ritter has been saying, but is it true that Iran, the current leadership, has put a fatwa out saying that you cannot develop weapons of mass destruction, that it's anti-Islam?
Yeah,
so they're not even trying. Yeah, they're not. Well, so they're at least alleging that they're not even trying to develop, and that whatever uranium
Iran's
or whatever,
goal is to get close to being able to develop. So is able to get close to developing the potential to develop, in order to again scare the West and tell the West that, look, if you mess with us, we have the potential to do this. And again, it's something that they publicly let know that we can develop uranium to a certain percentage, because if we wanted to, we could. And so if you do something to us, or if you try to invade or commit an act of war directly on the homeland, then maybe that fatwa will be put to the side and we will develop in order to protect. Because as we've seen in the world, countries that do have nuclear weapons have more protection, right? The threat thereof of that you can do something means that the West won't directly invade you. For all the sanctions that are put upon North Korea, no one's going into North Korea, right? No one's trying to invade North Korea. And Iran sees that. And like anybody would see that. Israel has been allowed to develop nuclear weapons because the West allows them to do that. Or at one point when Iran was an ally of the United States under the Shah, a lot of nuclear technology that was geared towards a nuclear weapon was passed to them. When South Africa was under apartheid, they had a nuclear weapon because the West allowed it and or promoted it. So obviously the West allows stuff like that to happen. They allow nuclear weapons to be in the hands of allies, but not in the hands of people who would actually try to fight back against the West. I don't know where it's going, but I don't. But Iran doesn't have the air defense that Israel has. Israel has an air force that's based on Western technology. Iran has planes based on the Soviet Union era of protecting. So they don't have, but what they have developed, like we've talked about, is drone warfare and ballistic missiles. And like you said, so they're not telegraphed beforehand. I'm sure some will reach, and then there's a ground war. If Iranian troops can make it to the border of Israel somehow, some way, then it is a different war because the populations are so dramatically different in terms of what Iran's army stature is compared to in Israel. Hezbollah, Syria, the Houthis. So we're talking about a huge war that will be started. And again, a lot of these Arab nations, Jordan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, will probably be supporting the West. And they will, if they're not striking directly at Iran, they're providing significant information, intelligence to the Western powers in Israel, which will again make Iran say, we will strike back, right? We're not going to allow you to do all that kind of stuff. So
For this weekend's attack, was it just Iranian military assets involved? I just want to clear up some perhaps misinformation that I may have heard. I heard that in addition to Iran sending drones, like there were Syrian troops at the border, maybe some Russian troops in the mix. Lebanon, had Hezbollah at the border. Was there any other states involved in this weekend attack that anyone else is aware of?
I had read that that some missiles
The Houthis, yeah.
not come directly from Iranian territory. And so that some missiles were fired from other places, and it may have been from Yemen or the Houthis. I think Hezbollah did not fire drones or missiles directly into Israel, but later on their border skirmishes with Israel continued after that even. But I think this was primarily like Iran, again, I don't want to use the term saving face, but starting to suggest that we will no longer allow Israel to bomb not only our troops and equipment, but particularly when they took the task of bombing diplomatic headquarters. I'm not sure if it was quite an embassy, but a clearly marked or understood diplomatic headquarters, which is akin to being sovereign territory of Iran. When they did that step, that Iran was forced to say that, for purposes of the strategy of moving equipment and troops closer to Israel to make sure that they can defend not only the homeland, but continue to fight back against the aggression of Israel. That was something that Israel has continued to, for the language that folks use as red line, and continue to bomb in Syria often, right? And which doesn't always get reported in news or gets played down or gets played as some sort of Israel retaliation. There's no retaliation. Israel is the ones bombing a sovereign nation because it can, because the Russians allow it. Whether or not people like the Russians have also a little deal with Israel, like they won't do anything against Israeli. I mean, they won't do anything against Russian troops or equipment, but they give them a pass to bomb Iranian troops and or equipment, and even Lebanese Hezbollah troops and equipment, even while Iran is selling weapons to Russia to help them with their war in the Ukraine. And so I think Iran is saying, we have our own red line and the axis of resistance. Iran is the only sovereign state. Maybe the Houthis now count as a second in some ways. That's basically leading in some ways the axis of resistance, and or supplies a lot of materials, military and otherwise, to the axis of resistance. And so, they can't just not do anything, to be honest, right? You can't in that situation just expect Hezbollah or the Houthis to respond. Now Iran will have to continue to respond, which again means a hotter war. And I'm not sure what that hotter war means, except for a lot of destabilization. And whether or not that means the annihilation of Israel, I'm not quite sure of that, because I think the West will step in to protect Israel and begin to attack Iran if an actual war were to take place.
I can imagine what the State Department response has already been. I haven't seen anything coming from that. I mean, I know they said something, but I thought it was interesting. I guess it was last week, whenever the Iranian embassy in Syria was bombed, the U.S. media and State Department, whatever, put it out in American media that the Biden administration, like there was a scramble and trying to establish some sort of, diplomatic conversation, the cables. I don't know what they were saying. They said we had to get the cables together because apparently, and I thought it was interesting that the Biden administration put this out in the U.S. media specifically, but to say that America had reached out to Iran to tell Iran that we didn't have nothing to do with the embassy in Syria being bombed. And I was trying to just figure out, whose interest does that serve? You don't usually hear statements like that of conciliation or whatever it is from the US to Iran, like, no, that wasn't us this time. Y'all can y'all please tell everybody over there that we didn't have nothing to do with that. But I thought that was because you just don't see that often anyway.
I don't think the US wants a war with Iran, because the only way for the United States and the Western powers to defeat Iran is a ground invasion. Israel won't be able to have a ground invasion. They can bomb them from the skies, and Iran will continue to launch missiles at Israel. That's going to be the crux of the war. But the United States doesn't want it. Iran is not Iraq. You do have your right-wing folks who do want to invade Iran. And I think, many years ago, like, there was a white paper written by sort of the right wing, and part of their statement was real men want to go to Iran, right? But Iran is a country that's close to 100 million people. It's not Iraq. It's a vast landscape, more sophisticated technology and weapons, an army or a sophisticated Revolutionary Guard that immediately will start guerrilla warfare tactics in any kind of invasion. They don't want to invade Iran directly. They do want to punish Iran. They do want to have ways in which they can encircle Iran by missions and troops and shoot from afar. And that will do a great deal of damage to Iran, but it won't bring down the regime, because unless they invade directly, have a direct war on Iranian territory, that will be the only way to subdue Iran in terms of its ability to fire back. So they're trying to avoid that at all costs, because that is going to be a war in which the numbers of American casualties or Western casualties, will be similar to what you had in the Vietnam War, where you had 30,000, 40,000, over 55,000 U.S. troops died, although the United States killed well over 3 million Vietnamese people. So they're trying to avoid that at all costs. So I think that's part of the idea around this, hey, watch your response and so forth and so on. But in the end, I still think that if Israel retaliates and Iran retaliates, the U.S. and other Western nations will retaliate as they've done with the Houthis. They will begin firing missiles and jets from afar as to damage Iran and damage infrastructure, but stay away from a total invasion.
I'm just showing here from yesterday's press conference from the State Department to Kim's question specifically that and essentially, Mr. Miller of the State Department reports here that I want to also be clear. He said the United States' commitment to Israel's security is sacrosanct.
Shit.
And then he goes on to, in response to a question, saying that this is Iran's abuse of Israeli sovereignty, but not just Israel, because of course the missiles, etc., flew over other countries as well, denying them their sovereignty. And he didn't specify which countries those were. He was going to let other experts make that point more clear. But that's the State Department's predictable response. And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was really like I really do think we're like in these hot times, obviously, where the Ghazian genocide has now morphed into, and again, the only folks who've offered assistance or real support for Gaza has been the axis of resistance. It has been Iran, which has helped both militarily and in other ways. Again, Jordan, Egypt, they're writing manifestos or making public statements, but they have not done what the axis of resistance has done, particularly Hezbollah and the Houthis, in trying to say we're going to match some fire with fire. We're going to do something to destabilize your ability to have a normal working economy, or to redirect your military away from directly being able to bomb Gaza at a moment's notice. But most of these, particularly the Sunni nations, who claim some alliance and allegiance and who share religious practices with the majority of the Palestinian people, have not done anything to support on the ground to stop the Ghazian massacre from taking place on Palestinians. And then one more quick thing: people are saying the United States is a paper tiger. I don't necessarily agree with that. The United States is willing and able to invade nations. Now, can it actually win wars? Probably not, in terms of ground invasions and holding land for long periods of time. But it doesn't mean that it won't it will destroy your country and then leave, as it did in Iraq, and set up a government. The government of Iraq is a government still that is based on the U.S. invasion of Iraq, which is why, even though they have strong ties to Iran, they still play a middle ground. Afghanistan, the country was completely destroyed by the U.S. invasion, and even though they did not win that war, it was the destruction. The Vietnam War, even though they didn't win that war, it was the total destruction as much as possible. Decades to rebuild, millions of people killed, millions of people injured, life-changing aspects that they still have munitions that are unexploded, but are on the ground in Vietnam based on the U.S. invasion. So this is not just Iran can beat them kind of thing. This is the United States, which does not care about human life and cost, particularly for Black and brown people, and will use all of its destructive mechanisms in order to maintain its larger capitalist and white supremacy control over land and resources. Knowing that Iran won't be capable of hitting the United States mainland, but yet the United States is fully capable of hitting the Iranian mainland, means that it's not a paper tiger. Iranian people will suffer at the hands of the United States if a real hot war starts.
Can I ask you guys a question? When you heard Saturday morning that this attack had taken place, I have to admit I got excited. I said, "Oh, we fighting." I get excited. Like, I mean, even on October 7th, I mean, as much as it was a bad day for some folks, I said, "Oh, they fighting back." I should say, fighting back is what got me excited. So I was excited to hear that Iran had did a little something.
I was too.
Yeah, to get Israel a little shook up over here. I said, "All right, y'all."
Because again, in the past, Iran has not responded back in kind, and I think because they hit, like you said, the embassy or the in Syria, it's like they felt they had little choice. Otherwise, they would also lose face with their own allies who have lost people and respond. Hezbollah has a policy of if they do something in Lebanon, Hezbollah will respond. And so it will be a tit for tat or back and forth. Iran has taken for them, like a tactical or strategic position, that the longer war is setting up the bases and infrastructure in other places to continue the fight, as opposed to directly doing a back and forth. But this time around, they felt they were left with little choice because, again, it was sovereign territory of Iran that was hit.
Mhm. To the extent that anybody knows, has Israel had to withdraw forces from Gaza in order to shore up different position points on their border in anticipation of more perhaps attacks coming from another state? Like, have they temporarily left Palestinians alone for a couple minutes?
I think they were
I haven't
already in the
heard that. Yeah.
process of they've already been in the process of withdrawing troops for now, but then they continue to do indiscriminate bombing.
Mm.
So whether I have no idea whether or not that was in response to, I know they did have, again, like, because this retaliation was telegraphed, so there was time that was taken in order to put restrictions on movement and travel. All of that was already done, but I also think they were preparing for a larger invasion of Lebanon. I think that's still on the table. I think there's still, in terms of the Israeli war machine, they're still looking for ways to end Hezbollah's closeness to the northern border of Israel, what's considered Israel. That so they are gearing up for that, and I think this Iran thing now coming in the mix again. It's if you have a war state that's always looking to kill and maim, they're taking on a lot right now in terms of enemies. And I don't, and again, it's as much as Hamas has some power, I don't think they're not, obviously they're not scared of Hamas. Hezbollah, yes. Iran, yes. But they're also doing this because they want to reposition themselves within their own Western diplomatic circles of like, hey, you guys are going to protect us and work with us, even if we drag you into this war, right? That's part of, I think, of the Israeli thinking, is that the West will support them with, again, the technology, the shipping of weapons. Even with the statements made by Biden, they have not at all pulled back on the supply of weapons to Israel. So I think this part of this response by Israel and what people are saying is going to be a counterattack against Iran, even though they're being told to not do it or whatever, is for them the self-assurance that no matter what we do, the United States will come to our rescue, Britain will come to our rescue, because we are part of the Western outpost, and they're not going to let us be destroyed if they can't help it. And really quick, again, I noticed in the chat, yes, so there was a response when Trump killed the Iranian general, but that response was again muted, as it had hit a base. It made sure of the fact that there were no U.S. casualties in hitting that base, and so the Iran has taken care to not directly go after bigger powers or powers that have strength, because again, part of their strategy is that this war is a protracted war, and they have to continue to move equipment and military personnel to fight that protracted war.
All right. Oh, I was going to do a segue, but the ear doctor left.
He did.
Okay. There he is. All right. Well, because speaking, all right. Speaking of protracted warfare. Wah, 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 wah.
Hey, man, y'all was dropping it. A lot of jewels there for what's going on in the world for people who don't know. Especially that big word you used when you was reading that thing, Jared. I didn't know what prescribe. I don't even know how to say the word. He was reading off of that paper. He said, the guy said, it's a big word. I don't know it. Anyway, big up to Ray Johnston. Johnston. I don't know why I put
no T there.
I know, but people still say Johnston.
They do?
Yeah, they do.
Because some people's names are Johnston.
No.
Yes.
Ain't nobody named Johnston.
Is it Renee named Johnston? Isn't she Johnston?
It got a T in it?
Yep.
Stun, yes.
He said got a T.
Renee Johnston.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, Ray Johnson here with $10. Y'all rarely speak to the ideology of capitalists. My existence is more valuable than yours, so I can own and sell water I didn't create. A business for profit first and service second. And money to Kim for uniform requirements. All right, pick up.
Thanks, Ray. But rarely, I feel
struggling. I'm struggling under the patriarchy over here. You know what I'm saying? They tell me what's wearing all
Does
kinds
she
of
look
shit.
like she's struggling, Ray?
Please.
That's not a woman that's struggling right
Not at
now.
all.
Suffering.
Not with them hoop earrings. All right. Big up to A-Rob, $4.99. Van Jones on Twitter thanking Obama for supporting the development of the tech that saved Israel.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Ah.
I'm gonna have to find that. That's the
Yeah,
most.
yeah.
annoying.
Let's track that down. Let's get some
Yeah.
links, chat. Let's get some links.
Oh my
It is
God.
on Twitter. I'm sure it's sitting right there at the top.
Let's get some
On this
some
great
video of that.
Kamau
And
boy.
God.
Last
Kamau
but not
homie.
least,
Kamau is already typing. He's
You
like,
already
I'm
know
gonna
it.
find that.
Manny Now, looking for Black Power Media Gmail. There it is for you right there, mediablackpower@gmail.com. So there you go. That's for all the people tuning in. Thank y'all for doing what y'all doing. Let's take a real quick break. So y'all can get back to it.
Not too quick.
Oh, okay, I know. An old man pancreas ain't holding.
Not the pancreas.
Right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Black business.
Pancreas.
Black business. Black business.
What's good, everybody? Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and yes, I know it's kidneys or something. I just wanted to use pancreas. Nobody ever talks about the pancreas. But anyway, welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show right here on Black Power Media. Please make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, also go to patreon.com, become a member over there, and get footage that's rare. You can also drop something right here, and it will be beautiful if you could share, because that means you care. All right, so we're talking about black business this week. Who did I want to talk about? As you've seen on the thumbnail for this week, I put a thumbnail up of Earl G. Graves. When we talk about business and media and stuff like that, I wanted to give him a quick shout out. So Earl Gilbert Graves Sr., entrepreneur, publisher, businessman, philanthropist, graduate from Morgan State University, founder of Black Enterprise Magazine, and he's also a board member for the Boy Scouts of America. He's born in Brooklyn to immigrant parents from Barbados and Trinidad, and you know where they moved to, Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, big up. And he also received a bachelor's degree from Morgan State in economics in 1958. He actually got to work and help get Lyndon B. Johnson not put in the White House. And in his work from there, he had the opportunity to serve as administrative assistant to Senator Robert F. Kennedy. Now, following the assassination of Kennedy, he got a seat on the advisory board of the Small Business Administration. Now, he started selling and getting his hustle on when he was 7 years old, selling Christmas cards. So he started doing that. Then he went to Morgan State and started selling flowers to people and working with florists to get a cut of the money selling flowers to people. From that, he started doing a newsletter. From the newsletter, it came into 1970 where he had his first issue of Black Enterprise Magazine. Now, he also created Earl G. Graves Ltd., which would have different divisions of his business, talking about publishing, marketing, radio, television, and event coordination. So he had a big business doing it all. He also had a fund that would help smaller businesses get on their feet. He also worked with Magic Johnson in 1990 and purchased Pepsi Cola bottling franchise in Washington, D.C., but wound up selling it back to Pepsi. So he doubled up real quick. And he's also on the board of trustees at Howard University. So many different things he's done, so many accomplishments. And he also has a building on the Morgan State University named after him. He died in 2020, White Plains, New York, Alzheimer's disease at the age of 85. So that is Earl G. Graves right here on the Remix Morning Show. Now let's get back to the people them right here. Let's go.
He has his friends.
No, I understand that, but there's plenty of friends who are.
You know, you're on your air. You're on the air.
So professional.
No, I love it. Kamal's getting talked to. I'm here for it.
Oh no! It's almost.
Chastised.
I'm again shocking Agat
Yeah, tell them.
by so I think I've told this like Agat used to she's like she's in disarray right now. She still has a hard time believing that Van Jones is a complete sellout. She wants to she because she knew him like 25 years ago when he was a communist. And they were in the same organization, Storm, which did really good work back in the day in the Bay Area. So she holds this little hope that somehow he's some sophisticated player and he's doing things in a particular way and that somehow he's going to fund the left revolution. I think she still has a little hope for that. So she's always shocked every time he does another thing. She gets shocked. Like, no. So when I showed her the tweet, I found the tweet. We can pull it up. She was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Pull it up. Pull up the evidence, counselor. Let's see
You know
it.
what I'm saying? Van Jones. Oh, I also looked for Van Jones' wife. I just wanted.
But should we all be worthy of such defense at some time in our
How do you
life?
get that kind of defense? What are you talking about?
No.
Even
If I am anything, I am loyal.
Oh,
to a fault.
Ooh, I love that though. That's lucky for you, Kamal. That works in your favor.
At times. Loyalty with a lot of criticism.
But hold on, you have to ask Egat, what's the red line for her? Is it taking 100 million from Bezos? Is it crying on national television over Trump talking about that's my president? Like, what's the red line here, my good sister?
Woo.
oh, she quiet. She's like, well,
You know what I'm saying? Here he is bigging up Obama for military technology.
Kim.
What'd she say?
She said, and I liked you too. How dare you? How dare you, Kim?
Tell Egat, I'm waiting for the book, the how to train your Kamal. I'm volume 1.
How to train your
Kamal.
Volume 1, Egat. I got the pre-order in the queue. Let's get it. I'm a fan. I admire the work. I see the vision, baby.
There's people are.
Why she come get on the mic?
Yeah, tell her to get on the mic,
Oh,
man.
no, because I'm working out and I look a hot mess. But I just think that there's a reasoning behind what people do, and knowing him, he has always been of the mind that we have to bring different forces together. And, like back in the day, it was really like, it turned out to be a very good and beneficial thing because it was how our little scrappy, Black and brown radical youth organizations like got involved in the climate justice movement. And global, understood that our place, that we were connected to the globalization issues, like structural adjustment was the same thing that was happening in our communities in terms of welfare getting cut, in terms of the privatization of essential resources like water and things like that. So that's what I saw. And when he first told us to go work with these all white, environmentalist groups, we were like, huh? So I guess like that is my grounding, and that is like his reasoning for that was explained to me. And so whenever I feel like he continued in that way in terms of reaching out to the other side. And so I guess I always like go back to that, but like now it's just, I don't know. I just don't understand.
You understand. You just don't want to accept.
Yes.
You understand.
I believe that people are fundamentally good. I do.
Oof.
I feel like our circumstances shape us in various ways.
Kissinger was fundamentally good.
When he was born and child,
Oh my God.
I'm sure he was.
Oh
All
my God.
right, already get them push-ups. Ain't gonna do it by themselves.
Oh, dang.
All right. All right. Y'all take care.
Don't be kicking my wife off the show.
I'm just helping you out. I know you
didn't
want
even
to
get
do it.
on the air. Just go change a shirt and you can come back or whatever.
No.
Oh my God.
I feel unwanted now.
Oh,
No. So
Air doctor.
I'm appreciating Eget's
I read your face.
optimism. You know what I'm saying? Eget sounds like an amazing friend. Like that's who I was speculating earlier. I'm like, who do I need to be a spokesperson for me if I ever get in trouble? Please let Eget come talk for me.
Yes.
'Cause-
Yes.
But read the tweet real quick so that we're all clear what Ed Get is defending.
No, I am not defending this. I'm not defending. I am bewildered.
Oh.
So Guy, it says, so this is basically a subtweet to another tweet. And the subtweet is Guy who funded Iron Dome, David Sling and the Arrow 3 missiles defense system to the hilt and saved untold innocent lives today in multiple previous conflicts. Barack Obama. So this one tweet is complimenting Barack Obama for basically funding the development of the Iron Dome. Whereas Van Jones on retweets that and adds, thanks at Barack Obama for helping to save Israel last night. You invested billions in the tech that spared a nation. So there you have it, Van Jones. And then if you look up on some of his other stuff here, he is reposting We Are Iran, not the Islamic Republic. So he's reposting these unity things around an Iran that's in unity with the southern colonial state of Israel on his timeline. So basically, he is showing his pro-Israel credentials, his anti-Iranian credentials, his pro-Western white supremacist credentials. All of that stuff is showing more and more and more. I mean, Van Jones is not even a neoliberal anymore. He's basically a moderate conservative. Not that there's much of a difference, but he is part of the ruling class and is advocating for the success of the ruling class over nations that have been occupied, destroyed by the United States. And so that's who Van Jones is.
And he's been rewarded. You know what I mean? That $100 million gift from Bezos. I think all that is tied into that. You don't get to be no $100 million Negro talking that revolutionary shit, that anti-capitalism shit. No, you better toe the line, baby. You better toe the line for the system. You better toe the line for the state. You better toe the line for even the far right representatives or aspects of the state. And there he got his reward.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes, everybody. See, that's what our problem is. We ain't switched up enough. You know what I'm saying? We got to switch it up.
Can I show you? Erica gave us another version of this problem. Can I show this to you real quick?
Mm-hmm.
This is just another version of that same problem.
Did you get the thing I forwarded you, Jared, that April is financial literacy month or something?
We met. I don't remember seeing that, but we did mention it because Brokish was talking about it the other day, and so I mentioned it earlier. But no, you sent me an email with that?
No, it was a forward from my bank, and it had like a little illustration of a Black woman, and she's got her wallet out, and it's April is National Financial Literacy Month.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, this must be for my financial illiterate ass." Thank you.
Well, it's interesting. So to connect it to what I'm about to show here, that was initiated in 2013 by Barack Obama, who had put together, and again, I'm going to talk a little bit about this at 11 o'clock, but he put together, and Erica, her work covers all of this, but he put together the task force or whatever on financial literacy. That included John Hope Bryant, who we have talked a lot about on EYL, who appears with Roland Martin and does the financial literacy, through Black investment ultimately into white-owned and operated platforms and banks and investment ventures. But yeah, he was involved with that. And then from that tree, of course, comes Biden and his current vice president, and then this little piece here that Erica found for us, which is just entirely inspirational. So that was the Different World cast with
Lisa
Vice
Bonet had
President.
enough sense not to be in that.
Well,
Wait till
she's
Lisa
been.
Bonet tells her story. You wait till Lisa Bonet come out here and tell her story.
Oh my God, that was
Yeah,
crazy.
she left
looking.
quickly. She left with a quickness.
Yeah.
But this cast that
It's
but
all
yeah.
about being seen. Yeah, I mean they get seen by the White House and people. And I mean people are propaganda. Unlike a Van Jones, who I think completely and 100% knows what he's doing. There's no doubt in my mind that Van Jones doesn't know what he's doing. Some of these other people are really just pawns and they have politics, but they are not kind of like the overt Western supremacist supporting people that a Van Jones is. And that's the only out I can give him because it's a ridiculous video. It's a ridiculous support video, even during these times. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Thought it was just a nice, yeah. And so, is there anything either of you want to get to as we start to head towards the last 20 minutes?
What
or
about
so of the show?
What about your survey? Would
Oh,
that
the
take, like,
quiz.
7
You want to take the
would that-
quiz?
you
Yeah,
wanna do the quiz?
yeah.
Let's do the quiz.
I'll pull that up. So Kim, I don't know. Were you here when I was mentioning the quiz that Erica and Amber did on Brokish?
No.
All right. So just quickly, and I'm very excited about it. And this is sort of the antithesis, when Ear Doctor started talking about Earl Graves and the business school, which I look at through my window almost every day at work. I got a little chill and had to get my buying power jacket and put that on because it's sort of the antithesis to what would be my thoughts on Black capitalism. But anyway, but the connection, the thread is that so much of what is taught to Black people is that if Black people increase their financial literacy, all these issues of inequality can be addressed. So what Erica's work, that is Erica Brown, the co-host of Brokish, what her work is increasingly demonstrating is that this modern version of the claim of financial literacy is coming out of the work of this one woman scholarship. She didn't want to name her during the show. She's waiting. She refers to her as her nemesis. But this one woman's work is going global. And having read Erica's work, I'm seeing how this is happening. And part of what this woman does is concoct this financial literacy quiz, which she says is a good way to assess where people are and why they're poor.
Uh-oh.
And Erica's work.
I don't want to take the quiz. Never mind.
Erica's
I don't want to know why I'm poor. I don't want to know.
But this is what I think is important because Erica's work shows that it's useless, that it's irrelevant. So what I'm going to do is, instead of playing it, because I don't want to reveal how Amber did, I'm just going to quickly read through the questions, and I will say that as I listened to it live in real time, and I did. I'll say for now, I'll share what exactly I did afterwards, but I did worse than Amber. That was for sure.
Hold on. Do I need to be noting my answers? Is this like a score I got to tally up at the end? And if I range,
no,
is it okay?
No. It's 7 questions, and let's just see how you both do, and those in the chat do. So the first question is this. Suppose you had $100 in a savings account and the interest rate was 2% per year. After 5 years, how much do you think you would have in the account if you left the money to grow?
$110?
Would it be, you have a choice here. You have choices. So it could be,
you say with multiple choice, Jared. I'm out here.
My bad. Multiple choice. So more than $102, exactly $102, less than $102, don't know, prefer not to say.
Well, damn, that my answer is wrong as shit. I don't know. Now I don't know. My answer is don't
I'm
know.
saying, so should I tell you more than $102?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, more than 102.
Is it
Right.
110? What's the answer?
Well,
It's
just
$2.
answer
You know,
based.
I don't
What are you
actually. You
messing
know
up?
what? I don't
mess up
actually
the
have
best.
the.
Just answer
I don't
one
have
of
the answers in
questions.
front of me. Actually, I don't know. I actually don't know if I'm going to be able to answer this because I don't have the answers in front of me. I got to do this from memory.
2% a year, $2 on $100, right?
So your answer is more than $102.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay,
Kamau.
thank you so much.
Question number 2. Imagine that the interest rate on your savings account was 1% per year and inflation was 2% per year. After 1 year, how much would you be able to buy with the money in this account? Option, so is it more than today, exactly the same, less than today, don't know, or prefer not to say?
Less than.
Less than. Same thing. Same. So far, we got the same answers.
All right. Okay. Number 3, buying a single company's stock usually provides a safer return than a stock mutual fund. True, false, don't know, prefer not to say.
True.
Don't know.
Stock. Okay. Number 4, a 15-year mortgage typically requires higher monthly payments than a 30-year mortgage, but the total interest paid over the life of the loan will be less. Is this true, false, don't know, prefer not to say?
True.
I'm saying true. Yeah.
All right. Next one. If interest rates rise, what will typically happen to bond prices? They will rise, they will fall, they will stay the same. There is no relationship between bond prices and interest rates. Don't know or prefer not to say.
I'm going to say there's no relation between bond and interest rates. I think I'm going to say no relation. No relation.
I'm going to say they fall. If interest rates rise, bond prices fall.
All right. 2 more. Suppose you owe $1,000 on a loan and the interest rate you are charged is 20% per year, compounded annually.
Damn.
If you don't pay anything off, at this interest rate, how many years would it take for the amount you owe to double?
Damn.
Less than 2 years, at least 2 years, but less than 5, at least 5 years, but less than 10, at least 10 years, don't know, prefer not to say.
What was the first and second one?
Less than 2 years, at least 2 years, but less than 5.
Okay, at least 2, less than 5.
And then at least 5, but less than 10.
Okay.
I'm going to say at least 5, less than 10.
All right. And then last one, which of the following indicates the highest probability of getting a particular disease?
Oh.
There is a 1 in 20 chance of getting the disease. There's a 2% of the population will get the disease. And then I can't see. Okay. 25 out of every 1,000 people will get the disease.
What's the question again? I'm sorry.
All right. Which of the following indicates the highest probability of getting a particular disease?
Highest probability.
There is a 1 in 20 chance. A 2% of the population will get the disease. 25 out of every 1,000 will get the disease.
The second one.
1 in 20, I'm saying.
All right. So honestly, I don't remember all the answers. So
I just asked you. I said, do I need to write down my answers?
So no, I don't remember the answers to the actual correct answers is what I'm saying. I'm not that I don't remember yours.
What
I
the
don't
hell
know,
kind of professor?
Because the reason I'm bringing it up, more than how well you all will do or we would do, is that what does any of this have to do with why people are poor?
Financial literacy.
This has nothing to do, so that not having the answer to this has nothing to do with why people are poor, and knowing the answers does not make people rich. And yet this is the matrix that is being used, or the metrics that is being used. What is the word I'm looking for? Is that the word? This is the rubric being used globally inspired by this one professor to assess.
Mm-hmm.
And then when most people are not going to do well on this.
And if they don't do well, the assessment is that you're
financially illiterate, and that's why you're poor.
That's fucking crazy.
And that's what the argument is. So I do know the stock bond interest rate one. I do know there's an inverse relationship. So Kamal got that one right. There's an inverse relationship between stocks and interest rates. So when one goes up, the other goes down. I do remember that question. But the other question that I had, and I asked Erica quickly yesterday, and neither of us was very clear on this, is what is the time frame given for people to answer these questions? Because when you watch Brokish, yeah, you got to watch the show to get all the answers and to see how Amber did. But and by the way, they are hilarious. And by the way, Amber's assessment of OJ is, I think, if not perfect, it's damn near, it's hilarious. They're hilarious. But the point was, listening live, it's rapid fire. So Amber's answering in basically however long we took. And I was in the car, and I got 4 out of 7. That was my score. But I'm wondering, how long do you give people, number one? Like, because sometimes, like with the math and stuff, I need a minute. I need a moment.
But you know what? I have there's a whole basis around why financial literacy is poofy and it's nonsense. But when you look at, especially from a white capitalist perspective, the whites who do the best at capitalism are the ones not following the fucking rules. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this nigga Trump. Trump does whatever the fuck he wants out here. He's 80 years old and is sat on varying piles of millions throughout his whole life, right? This nigga ain't never been unhoused. Trump ain't never missed no meals. You know what I'm saying? Is he financially literate, or is he gaming the system from an illiterate perspective? You feel me? Like, I hate this rhetoric and this messaging around our people. Well, y'all just too ignorant. That's why y'all ain't got shit. And it's like, but the whites got everything and they stole it. So it's like, to Brother Diallo's point, like, why are we chasing after white people? What does it that white folks have that we are trying to acquire or amass? And I don't think that everybody knows that financial literacy is not the reason that white folks have money. The white folks have money because they stole it. They took it generations ago, and it's been subsequently passed down. Even in all these different corporations, this thing I'm checking out right now talks about Price Waterhouse Coopers, the accounting firm, how integral they were in the slave trade. Aetna, how integral they were in the slave trade. All these different corporations that people in this country have been invested in for generations, right? This is how these people have money. They keep investing in all the mechanisms that stole all the wealth and the resources and all that from around the globe and from people here, from chattel slavery and from the extraction of the resources from the land that they stole. So miss me with the financial literacy. And it's so frustrating to hear our folks get chastised by one another. Like, oh, well, that's why y'all, because you got a pair of Jordans. That's why you can't pay your rent. And it's like, is that the reason? I don't think that's the reason.
And it's even like what we said earlier. Real quick, like what we talked about earlier was, the whole idea, like if you don't pay a bill or if you miss a loan payment, how you are chastised to no end. These motherfuckers specialize in not paying shit off, or like, you know what? I there's like $3 billion invested in this. This is your money. If I don't pay, then we're just going to renegotiate the deal. Or I'll give up the assets, and you know who's going to bail me out? The government's going to give money, right? So my shit is too big to fail. But your little life, if you don't do it, if you don't pay that bill, then you are terrible. You're bringing down the economy. You are a monster. You are financially illiterate.
You're welfare. You gaming the system. What's the word they use, y'all? Not grift. What's the word? Fuck, never mind. Continue. Come on. Sorry.
No, it's all that stuff and more. But it's exactly right. We are held to the standards that they themselves don't even keep, because, as you said, the way they acquired their wealth in the first place has
That's
nothing to do with following rules and regulations. It has everything to do with conquering. It has conquering, taking control, and moving on.
Amenke Nubarman has the line. Thanks for the $4.99. I have a degree in finance. I got all the answers right. I'm still broke. That's the point. That's the point.
I was gonna help you
Thank you.
pronounce that, but you did.
You was gonna help me pronounce that? Yeah, thank you, ear doctor.
You know what I'm saying? In the
That's the point.
2016 presidential debates, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, one of the most, revealing moments of the debate. Hillary Clinton thinks she getting Trump. Like, he ain't paid his federal taxes in 25 years. Trump said, bitch, because I'm smart. I said, and now everybody's stuck. Like, argue with that. Argue with it.
Mm-hmm. That's one of those weird reasons why he is popular amongst because it's like he'll just say that shit that some of us are thinking. When he said the shit that like people were talking about all the countries that have they're killing in the United States or attacking. He's like, we have killers too. I mean, he could have went further than that, but the fact that he even said that shit was just like, boom. And the main thing, the corporate media, they don't like that kind of truth. They don't like that exposure, that lifting of the veil. It's like, no, that's not what we're supposed to say. We're supposed to say everybody hates the United States because we're a democracy or we got money or all that.
Because of our freedoms, like Bush said after 9/11.
They hate us because we're free. You're not supposed to admit to the dirty deeds that the United States does. Like, what is wrong with you? That's what they don't really like about him. It's not that he's like this kooky kind of white supremacy thing. It's like he'll say some of these untruths that expose them themselves because he just don't give a fuck, right? For whatever reason, he don't give a fuck. Partly because of who he is, the money he's got, what's brought him fame or whatever. He's a little bit of an idiot. He don't care about he don't care about like the rules and regulations of it. It doesn't mean he's not part of the game. It just means as a player of it or as one of the capitalist owners of it, he's exposing things that they don't like exposed. And that's part of the reason. Like Biden knows how to, as old and decrepit and losing his mind as Biden is, unless it's a slip, right? He knows what his role is. Obama knew what his role was. Obama never slipped. Obama, like, I know exactly what I'm doing. I got this all down. The system loved him. They loved him, right? But Trump, he ain't got it all down. He's just as dangerous as Obama is, no difference whatsoever in what the politics will be. But they don't like the exposure, you know what I mean? Because then they think obviously the more we know, potentially the idea is that the more that folks will react to it. It may not always be true, but that's at least the fear that they have around somebody like a Trump.
So this is just before we get out of here. I wanted to clarify what just a quick turn here. This is what's happening Saturday. It's Wu-Tang and Redman, Devin the Dude, Backyard Band, Nucci live from the front porch, which is associated with Backyard, and that stuff is fantastic if you haven't seen it. The Dirty Grass Players, I don't know them. Cumbia Heights, don't know them. Dior Ashley Brown and the Filthy Animals, don't know them. Farrah Fawcett, big shout out to that name, though I don't know the artist. I think that's a great name, though. I think I would like to know just based on the name. But Friday is when you get Black Alley, Black Rave Culture, Corrine, Proverbs Reggae Band,
Thundercat
Ricky Platinum.
Isn't Thundercat on the Friday show?
They are. It does say 419. Thundercat is the headliner for 419, and 420 is Wu-Tang and Redman. I don't know who Thundercat is, but Wu-Tang. So let's be real. I'm probably not gonna go, but that is damn close to. I mean, the tab is gonna stay open for a while. I got to look at that for a minute and think about how that day is gonna go. But
what day is Devin performing? Is Devin on Saturday or Sunday?
Devin is on Saturday with Backyard and Nucci and Wu-Tang. That's a lineup. That will get me out. That's a get me out the house lineup.
That's a get me out the house lineup, buddy. You know what I'm saying? And you got wheels. I ain't got wheels, and I'm gonna be down that joint. I'm trying to tell you. Woo!
All right, ear doctor. My bad, man. Go ahead,
Oh,
man.
nah, you good. We are at 582 people watching live. So big up to all our remixes out there. That's a beautiful
EYL
thing.
would say that's slumming.
Oh, wow,
word.
damn. Oh, damn.
EYL would
It's
be
like, that's
like,
all y'all
"Yo,
got.
That's
look
all
at y'all
y'all
little
got?
show. Isn't that cute? Look, you know what I'm saying? It's the big show over here.
That's
EYL,
funny.
big show energy. Remix, little
No.
more, little show energy.
They wasn't
588
even-
Hey.
might be our record, right?
A couple people
we had
a couple
600
people said I
almost
would like
600 last
Thundercat. All right.
Yeah, Thundercat's got some music, plays the guitar and things like
He
that.
plays the bass, or he plays like a straight up electric guitar.
Don't give me the
I think he
line.
plays the bass.
Yeah.
Maybe I may have that all the way wrong, but yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
If there's seating, I gotta
I
look into
know
the
that's
thing.
right.
I gotta make sure I got a seat.
I
Bring
know
your
that's
Like
own.
right.
straight up.
Bring your
If I can
backpack
bring
here.
one, I got a nice one. Mine's probably better than with that. My travel pack is sweet. I got a whole travel seating pack arrangement. I'm good. So if they allow it, I'm good. I might have to.
Eric got
But
the
if
coffee
it's-
table.
I mean, basically, got a little French press connected to the joint. No, I'm just playing. A little air conditioning and a massager too.
Hey.
That-
But
Fancy.
no, Cali. No, I'm just playing. I do have a nice little
I got
folding
this.
rocker though.
Rod
Go ahead.
sings.
Oh,
$5.
Ooh,
No
almost.
S.
So close.
Almost
So close.
just the one S.
Damn it.
It's just
Rod
one Raj.
sings.
he said Rod sings.
Yeah, Raj sings.
Raj might sing for all we know.
might.
but
Raj
shout out to
might.
Raj.
He might.
Hey,
That
you
just
know,
ain't his name, though.
He looked like
I would be singing over here though, Raj. The
look-
wallet
he
be.
looked like Bobby Blue Bland a little bit. I have my
That's first of all,
Mix
wait.
it
That was Robert Williams, the legendary Robert Williams
Oh, my bad.
of Monroe, North Carolina fame.
Negroes with guns.
Negroes with guns.
Mm.
Come on now.
He
All right,
looked like
don't do
Bobby
that.
Blue Bland then.
Oh,
He looked like Bobby Blue Bland. Let's keep it 100. I have my Cali Bud on deck for 420. Might have to check that festival out.
Hey, listen, this is the only. I mean, I know some of y'all have said, "Oh, some y'all act like celebrities," because I've said, if you see me, don't come talk to me, and it's not because I'm on some. I'm
Oh,
so-
damn.
I'm- no, it's because I get anxious. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm no, I'm not. No, I don't like being approached by strangers. I'm just gonna keep it a buck.
So you're not doing Steve Harvey. You have a good reason for this. You're not on your Steve Harvey.
I'm not like Lauryn Hill. Like, don't even look in my direction. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. I mean, just no. But I said, if you see me at this shit, oh yeah, y'all should definitely come up and say what's up. If you see me at the Wu-Tang Redman show, that's a friendly space. Yes.
Everybody's a friend
Absolutely.
there. You know, no anxiety.
None. No, because these are my people. Wu-Tang and Redman fans are my family. Like,
But if I see you at
please.
the supermarket and I go like, oh shit, that's Kim Brown from such and such and such.
I need you to just keep it moving. Just go on. Just keep. No, you're mistaken. It's not me. It's someone.
me.
It's another.
Not at all.
And again, that's not on some. I'm too. No, I get anxious. Please, I don't know. I don't.
Hey, big up to the Juma Boutique for the $10 super sticker.
Get
All
it.
Now
Thank
we are
you.
past time, y'all. So you know how we do. Get up
No,
out
I know
there.
how you do.
You
nigga.
do
Like,
word exactly.
know how you do.
You can do 5 minutes.
He said
5
we.
minutes or what?
We get 2
never
minutes.
mind. I'm
We get
leaving it
120 seconds, please.
All right, I give y'all a little something. Big up to we just lost another brother. Goes by the name of Rico Wade.
Can we talk about that tomorrow? Like,
Yeah,
I
we
want us to.
will.
Yeah.
We will. And also Sunday's chat, which we'll be having in the Sundays. I'll be bringing Minister Server, and we'll have a pretty dope deal. And we'll talk
Wow.
about. Actually, we did an interview, sit down with Rico Wade a while back.
Oh wow.
So yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. A little remix done by Organized Noise and the Dungeon family right here as we get ready to get out of here for Remix Morning Show. Catch y'all in the morning. Let's go.
Peace.
Bullets to him. Bullets. Bullets to him. Alright, quick let's coming around the south, rolling straight. Hammers and bows and that old southern south. Please, ain't nothing but nuisance in my atmosphere. I'm bending corners in my lag bar, cause that's how we been rolling here. Yeah, the snake is in the face because it's yours. I kick it, they can't get in. I need the pack of your reasons cause you're supposed to cut. Catfish secrets, it's how my flow flows. Rolling steady in that caddy, but the 50 bottles, that's a go. See, 2 cents in used to be my friend from the beginning. Now I'm just a player sipping sauce every now and then. To catch a buzz like a bumblebee. Niggas who try to fuck when niggas spray like Bray, cause it ain't nothing.
See, my heat is in the trunk along with that quad. I know my heart don't pump no Kool-Aid. Jumping, you'll get 2 sprayed. 2 rays, you'll block the one and only outcast. Many of niggas falling fast and I can see you blasting quickly. They ain't gon' get me, got something for them. The devil up in your grill and you still don't even know them. Show them who's the okay, like collard greens and okay, I got soul. That's something that
the best way he knows how. Another body laying cold in the gutter.
We out of here, y'all. Remix Morning Show. Peace.